Have you ever stopped to think about what really attracts a woman? No, we're not talking about looks or pickup lines. The secret to winning her over goes way deeper than that, and this is where many men go wrong. The real key to seducing and winning a woman's heart lies in understanding the vulnerabilities of the female mind. Yes, you read that right. Vulnerabilities. The very thing many people try to avoid, the thing most think should be hidden. But here's the big secret. It's these vulnerabilities, these weaknesses, that can be your greatest advantage. It might sound counterintuitive, right? After all, who wants to approach someone who shows vulnerability? The answer is simple. Those who know how to handle these emotions intelligently. If you learn to communicate strategically, not through manipulation but with genuine empathy, you're on the path to a real and irresistible connection. And you don't need to be a psychology expert to do it. A few practical tips, based on real understanding, are enough to start conquering in ways that few people know how to. Ready to uncover the secrets that few reveal about female behavior? When a man first enters the world of attraction, it's easy to get lost in the emotions and conflicting signals women send. But the truth is, understanding the psychology of women is not as complicated as it may seem. It's a matter of reading the signals and paying as much attention to what's not being said as to what is. For the man who wants to improve his chances, the first step is to realize that female communication is often more subtle than direct. And it's in this game of nuance that the secret to winning her over is found. By recognizing when a woman is emotionally available or distant, you begin to understand the rhythm of the interaction. One of the biggest mistakes many men make is treating a woman solely based on her looks or explicit words. The real key is understanding women's emotions and how they influence attraction. Women have a natural ability to express their emotions more intensely, while still being discreet. When a woman shares a vulnerability with you, like an insecurity or personal experience, she's not just seeking a reaction. She's testing your ability to empathize and offer support. The secret here is being the emotional hero, the one who responds carefully but without being overly needy or clingy. This shows that you understand what she needs without forcing anything. Female manipulation, when viewed from the perspective of a keen man, is not about deceit or malicious intent. It's more about how women use subtlety to their advantage. They know exactly when to stir up a bit of mystery, leaving you wanting more. For instance, by not giving herself away completely, by not revealing everything right away, she creates a tension that makes the man want to know more. And here's the crucial part: knowing how to respect her space. Don't fall into the trap of being overly available, because that excess of accessibility might make her lose interest. Instead, be the man who has something more to offer, something that needs to be earned. Another key point is recognizing the power of silence and presence. Often, men feel the need to fill every moment with words or actions, but this can be a mistake. When you're in a conversation with a woman, learn to respect moments of pause because they speak volumes. If you can stay comfortable in silence, without rushing to fill every gap with words, you exude confidence, something every woman notices and values. This creates a tension-filled dynamic where interest naturally increases, without the need to rush. Lastly, when you observe female manipulation more closely, you start to recognize moments of high vulnerability, when she might be more open, or conversely, when she's holding something back. This doesn't mean you need to be a mind reader, but rather learn to read the signs and adjust your approach according to her emotional needs. When you do this intelligently, respectfully, and most importantly, genuinely, you'll begin to see that winning a woman over isn't just about making the right moves. It's about being the right man at the right time, listening, responding, and, above all, being present in the most authentic way possible. When it comes to winning a woman's heart, understanding and recognizing female vulnerability can be a game changer. A woman's vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but a way of testing the emotional connection and the level of trust she can have with you. When she opens up and shares something deeper, like insecurities or fears, it's an opportunity for a man to show empathy and support. It's not about trying to fix things but being there, actively listening, and showing that you understand how she feels. This creates a genuine connection, where she begins to realize that you're someone who can offer not just protection, but understanding. Many times, men think they need to show strength at all times to attract women, but vulnerability has its place in this process. Contrary to what many believe, women are drawn to men who can be sensitive and authentic, especially during moments of fragility. The key here is emotional honesty. Don't be afraid to show your own insecurities, as long as it's not a plea for validation. This shows her that you're a real man, capable of connecting on a deeper level. By doing this, you create a safe space where she can let her guard down, which only boosts mutual attraction. Vulnerability, when understood well, can become a powerful tool for establishing a genuine emotional connection. For example, when a woman shares something that hurt her in the past, she's offering an opportunity for you to show that you care. How you react to this will determine her perception of you. Don't rush to make judgments or try to minimize what she feels. Instead, validate her feelings by showing empathy and understanding. This creates an emotional bond, demonstrating that you're willing to walk by her side, not just in the joyful moments, but also when things get complicated. Another important aspect of female vulnerability is that, when women sense a man is emotionally available, they tend to open up more. However, it's essential that the man understands that vulnerability isn't an invitation to be overly cautious or clingy. The secret lies in balancing empathy with independence. When you show that, while you care, you also have your own life and interests, it sends a message of balance that is even more attractive. This helps a woman feel comfortable sharing her vulnerability without feeling like she's becoming emotionally dependent on you. Therefore, the man who wants to win a woman over must learn to handle her vulnerability carefully and intelligently. When you become someone she can trust, someone capable of offering genuine emotional support without pretending to be a savior or trying to manipulate the situation, the doors to a deeper connection open. And remember, vulnerability is not a weakness. It's actually an opportunity to create a stronger bond. Once you understand this, you become the man she's looking for. The emotional partner who knows the value of listening and being present when it matters most. Communication between the sexes can be a tricky terrain, but it's also the key to understanding women and creating a genuine connection. For the man who wants to win a woman over, understanding the subtleties of female communication is crucial. Contrary to what many think, a woman isn't just saying what she thinks. She's also communicating what she feels. So, if a man focuses only on the words and ignores the tone of voice, body language, and even pauses, he's missing out on critical information. For instance, when a woman says, "I'm fine," but her facial expression says otherwise, she's not lying. She's simply waiting for you to notice what's behind the words. When in a conversation with a woman, active listening becomes even more important than the words exchanged. She'll talk about her day, frustrations, and joys. And the man who knows how to listen attentively will be the most successful. This means not interrupting, not offering immediate solutions, but simply validating what she says. When she feels you're genuinely interested, that you're paying attention to even the smallest details, the emotional bond grows instantly. And the best part, it doesn't take much effort. A woman can tell who's really listening and who's just waiting for their turn to speak. But, of course, communication isn't just about what she says. It's also about how she feels being heard. If you start noticing the impact of your words, the way you say them, and her reactions, you'll see how communication directly affects attraction. By expressing genuine interest, you're not just trying to win her over. You're also creating an environment where she feels safe, understood, and desired. This goes far beyond seduction because it's about creating a deep emotional connection. A space where both of you feel comfortable expressing your emotions and desires without the fear of judgment. One of the biggest mistakes many men make is trying to use overly rational communication when it comes to women. Often, women aren't looking for explanations or solutions. They're looking for validation and empathy. So, if she shares a problem, the ideal response isn't to try to solve everything, but simply to offer understanding. For example, instead of giving immediate advice about something she's gone through, you might say, "I can imagine how difficult that must have been for you." This small gesture goes much further than words, showing that you care and are available to listen without rushing to fix anything. However, communication should not be one-sided. The man who wants to win a woman's heart must also be vulnerable in his own communication. Being open and unafraid to express his own emotions also facilitates a deeper connection. Women appreciate it when a man shows emotional availability without being excessively dependent. Genuine vulnerability conveys confidence, and this can be far more attractive than any rehearsed flirting technique. When you communicate honestly and sincerely, you create an environment in which the woman also feels comfortable opening up. Understanding female emotions is a crucial step for any man who wants to win a woman over in a genuine way. Emotions are complex, and women, by nature, tend to be more expressive in this regard. This doesn't mean men need to be experts in female psychology, but it's essential to understand the emotional reactions women have in various situations. Rather than becoming frustrated or thinking the woman is difficult, the man must approach her emotions with empathy and patience. For example, If a woman reacts intensely to something that doesn't seem important to the man, he should realize that her emotions are being triggered by a deeper context, perhaps related to her own insecurities or past experiences. When a man understands female emotions, he becomes more skilled at reading the signals a woman sends, often non-verbally. This doesn't mean he has to guess what she feels all the time, but learning to notice when she's happy, sad, irritated, or excited is a huge advantage. For instance, if she seems uncomfortable in a situation, a simple gesture of concern or asking if she's okay can make a huge difference. This shows the man isn't just concerned with the surface level. He wants to know what's really going on beneath her reaction. This kind of attention doesn't just create an emotional connection. It also builds a foundation of respect and trust. Understanding female emotions also involves learning how to handle them sensitively, without trying to manipulate them or force them to be something they're not. Emotional manipulation, which is a tactic many men unknowingly use, is extremely harmful and can destroy any chance of a true connection. For example, a man who tries to make a woman jealous or uses harsh words to manipulate her into acting a certain way is only creating resistance and distrust. True attraction comes when the man can approach her emotions in a healthy and honest way. In many situations, a woman wants to feel that her emotions are understood, and a man who offers this is extremely attractive. When he allows himself to be vulnerable as well, showing his own emotions and insecurities, she sees that he is someone she can trust. This mutual sharing creates an emotional exchange that strengthens the bond. Therefore, it's important that a man is sensitive to her emotions, but also not afraid to show his own reactions. This creates a balance that favors emotional connection. Ultimately, the man who knows how to recognize and respect female emotions will be in a much stronger position when it comes to winning her over. This doesn't mean being submissive or overly cautious, but rather being able to create a space where the woman feels safe to explore her emotions and feelings. This emotional skill is incredibly powerful because it conveys the confidence that the man can handle what she's feeling without judging or trying to control her. This kind of connection goes beyond physical attraction, creating a deeper, more meaningful relationship. Female vulnerability is something many men tend to avoid or even fear, but understanding this aspect can be crucial when it comes to winning a woman over. Vulnerability is not weakness. On the contrary, it's a way to show authenticity and emotional connection. Women often feel safer and more attracted to men who see this vulnerability as an important part of the human experience rather than something to be judged. When a man understands that women also have their insecurities and fears, he can respond with empathy and care, which strengthens the attraction. For instance, if she shares a fear or insecurity, instead of devaluing it or trying to fix the situation, he can simply listen and offer emotional support, creating a safe and welcoming environment. Vulnerability also manifests in the way women express their emotions, desires, and even needs. In many cases, they may fear being judged or rejected for showing this more sensitive side. The man who can perceive these nuances, while being receptive and respectful, will be more successful in earning a woman's trust. This doesn't mean the man should be overly docile or submissive, but that he should be capable of showing a genuine understanding of her vulnerability without trying to exploit it for manipulation or personal gain. If a woman feels that her emotional space is being respected, she will naturally open up more and trust him. Female vulnerability often hides behind a smile or a stronger attitude because many women don't want their weaknesses to be visible. This behavior is a defense, a mechanism to protect themselves from rejection or judgment. For a man who wants to win a woman over, noticing these hidden signs is an advantage. Instead of reacting impulsively or aggressively, he can opt for a gentler approach, demonstrating that he sees her vulnerability and is willing to be patient and understanding. This creates a deeper connection, as she feels she can be herself without fear of being judged. Genuine attraction between a man and a woman often begins when both allow themselves to be vulnerable. For the woman, seeing a man willing to open up and show his own weaknesses and fears creates a space of authenticity, where she can also be true to herself. When the woman feels that the relationship has this safe space to explore both of their emotions, she becomes more connected to the man and more likely to invest emotionally in the relationship. This exchange of vulnerability strengthens the bond and creates an atmosphere of mutual respect. Understanding female vulnerability is, therefore, one of the greatest assets for any man in the pursuit of conquest. A woman who feels emotionally safe and understood by the man will be more willing to give herself to the relationship and build a lasting connection. Instead of trying to mold or control the woman, the man who understands female vulnerability knows that true attraction comes from the ability to create an environment of trust, respect, and emotional reciprocity. This makes the relationship evolve naturally and, often, even quickly, without pressure or emotional games. And have you ever thought about getting the woman you want just through text messages? There's a secret that all women keep with them. A mental trigger that activates in their minds when you send certain specific messages. I teach all of this in an ebook, which I'm offering as a gift in the first pinned comment of this video. It's not free because I put work into creating it, but it's almost free since the price is ridiculously low. Cheaper than a snack. Go grab your gift. Now that you understand the secrets behind female psychology and how to handle women's emotions and vulnerabilities, the question is, how will you apply all of this in practice? What will you do from now on to turn these insights into concrete actions? Remember, conquest is not a game of luck, but of strategy and sensitivity. By understanding the female mind genuinely, you can start standing out from other men who simply don't know how to connect authentically. Are you ready to use this new approach in your next date, conversation, or relationship? You can bet that women will notice the difference when you become more than just a player, but someone who truly understands her and knows how to create a safe space for her to open up. If you like this content, there's much more to come. So, don't waste time. Subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and get ready to take the next step toward mastering communication and true conquest. And have you ever imagined what it would be like to become irresistible to them? You'd have as many women as you want. Just imagine your phone buzzing with messages all the time from women eager to sleep with you. All by doing what I teach you in this video that's right there on your screen. Click it, and I'll see you there.